Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on how UiPath turned SAP data integration into a competitive advantage with Xtract Core. My name is Christoph Schuler. I'm the General Manager for Theobald Software based here at our US subsidiary in Seattle. And I'm welcoming today Jack Miller from UiPath. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jack Miller. I'm a senior product manager here at UiPath, responsible for the process mining product. And today I'll be going over an overview of what UiPath is, what UiPath process mining does, and how we integrated with Theobald Xtract Core for our data extraction needs.
Thanks for joining us today, Jack. I really appreciate it. Let's take a quick look at our agenda. We'll do a brief introduction about our companies, Theobald Software, as well as UiPath and their process mining solution. And then we'll take a look at SAP data integration needs that UiPath had specifically with their process mining solution. We will look at the solution benefits that they were able to achieve with our Xtract Core solution, followed by a live demo of how process mining will utilize SAP data enabled through the Xtract Core solution. Then we'll finish up with some next steps, and we will also have some time for Q&A at the end. For that, I would ask you that you please use the Q&A or chat features in the webinar control. So let's go ahead and start with a brief introduction about Theobald Software. Our company has been founded just over 20 years ago, and we're a software vendor specializing in SAP integration. We have globally around 60 employees, primarily at 2 locations, our headquarters in Stuttgart, Germany, not too far from where SAP's headquarters is. And we also have presence here in the US, in Seattle. Globally, we work with around 1,700 active SAP customers that use our products, and we also have a partner network. First and foremost, we are an SAP partner. We have a certified technology foundation, SAP-certified technology foundation, but we also partner with other technology companies, including companies like UiPath and others that integrate SAP data using our technology. So a little bit more about our solutions. Theobald Software is all about making SAP data useful beyond SAP's ecosystem or outside of SAP's own applications. Customers need access to SAP data, for example, for business intelligence and reporting solutions, or they may want to integrate SAP data into third-party data platforms or data lakes from vendors like Microsoft, AWS, Databricks, or Snowflake, or others. Customers also need SAP data to power their AI, machine learning, or predictive solutions. And SAP data plays a critical role in financial close applications, supply chain applications, and many others. Today, we will focus on the role of SAP data in process mining and automation solutions. And one of the leading vendors in this space is UiPath. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jack to talk a little bit about UiPath and their solutions.
Thanks, Christoph. So UiPath is an automation platform company. We segment this into 3 distinct pillars: the discover, where you are looking for automation opportunities, looking for process bottlenecks, which is where the process mining product lives. We then have the automate, which is UI and agent-based automation. So think agentic automation within pulling and pushing data within certain external systems. And then we have the operate, which is the governance of those automations, the governance of those agents, the governance of those long-running processes and workflows. So UiPath process mining sits in the discovery space. Process mining allows for customers to ingest and display external logs within a process graph, like we see the visualization on the left here. This is a purchase to pay process, and it'll identify the certain process bottlenecks that you might be having within certain steps. It identifies the variance that the process could take depending on that case or that purchase requisition, purchase order type. And then overall, it identifies where there are areas of automation, where there are areas of agents, and how to improve that underlying business process so that you could bring more money back to your organization and save employee time. Jumping to the next slide here, I'll quickly give a brief overview of how process mining works. So we really distinct it into 4 steps. So the first is the discover. This is connecting to your system of record where that business process lives. So in this case, we'll be touching a lot about SAP data, but there are also Salesforce, Oracle, ServiceNow, Jira source systems that we support from the process mining perspective. This allows for you to create powerful process mining apps customized to your transformation goals. So we have an inline ETL builder utilizing SQL to be able to transform that ingested raw data into a data that is ingestible by your business users and by your business analysts. It allows for you to understand. So that's that second part, is visualizing that end-to-end process, like I mentioned before, with that visualization on the left. It allows for you to analyze those process bottlenecks, if there's any deviations between the process and any rework that might be happening that might be leading to higher throughput time than expected. We also allow for you to simulate the cost and the time impact of potential actions. So this might mean bringing a automation into a certain step, bringing an agent within a certain step to automate that, or to rework and process re-engineer that step, removing it, adding it, to overall understand how you could further act, which is the step 3. So really acting is kind of the bread and butter here to really be able to automate that process, to re-engineer that process, to ensure that it's moving in a more optimized condition than before. And then lastly, to kind of round out the story, is to monitor. So after you've made those specific process improvements, after you've made those specific automations specific to those steps, you want to monitor how those changes are bringing time and money back to your business. And that's where the monitoring comes in.
And Jack, if we talk about end-to-end processes, what would be an example for SAP?
Yeah, definitely. So a purchase to pay process is very likely within our customer base. Purchase to pay, going from a purchase requisition that might be submitted by a specific department to then that purchase order, to then finally that fulfillment and that invoice. Having that full process visibility into the end-to-end and how long it takes for that purchase requisition to go all the way to invoice is something that is very common within our customer use cases, and is actually the process that I'll be demoing later on in the webinar.
Great.
Now to touch on our data integration needs. So from the process mining perspective, we support a number of rows. 200 million plus is very common within our customer base, and we support up to 1 billion rows within our data ingestion, transformation, and visualization tool. So what this means, it means that our extraction needs to handle a high volume of SAP logs. It needs to have high scale extractions that can not only extract that much data, but it can also extract that much data in a performant time so that our customers can get more value out of the visualization and those process insights later downstream. Next is also customer autonomy. So we need our customers to be independent within their SAP configurations and have self-managed connections. We don't want our customers relying on us to be able to help them configure their connections to their SAP or their other source systems. We need that to be very autonomous for our customers so that they can be self-service within getting started into the process mining product and overall decreasing that time to insight. That is a metric that we track from UiPath process mining. And then lastly is secure. We work with a lot of high compliance organizations, a lot of healthcare, a lot of financial services. these organizations need to have SAP-certified secure access. They need to have end-to-end encrypted data. This is table stakes within these conversations when we have process mining as a potential tool to meet their needs.
And Jack, without these built-in SAP data extraction capabilities, can you speak to how customers would achieve this before? How would they have done this in the past?
Yeah, that's a great question, Christoph. It's a very lengthy process. The customers need to reach out to their IT teams. They need to get first that data access, and then they need to write either their custom extractions, custom scripting to have those extractions, and that's through ABAP scripting, or they need to export their data into flat files, which is something that we have commonly seen in the past, which is not very scalable. Like I mentioned before on the previous slide, we want also our customers to be able to monitor this, and monitoring also means re-ingestion of that new data. So constant extractions are needed within our specific use case. So flat files and custom scripting really doesn't do the job there.
Right. Well, we're not just talking about a one-time data extract, but it's repeated over a period of time.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next I'll touch on why we, from the process mining perspective, chose Xtract Core. So the first is really it being purpose-built for SAP. The SAP-certified connectors with the RFC modules that are built out natively, that allows for us to have confidence within the RFC module that's installed on the SAP system. Xtract Core had a deep understanding of the SAP models and structures. That deep understanding allowed for us to abstract away a lot of the complexity with the SAP data model and knowing and needing to know which tables and fields to extract within certain use cases. Also, the performance and efficiency. Like I mentioned before, our process mining tool can support up to 1 billion rows of data within a process mining app. So really being able to have that optimization for extractions for high volume SAP data was a must-have for us. It also allows for us to handle, or allowed for us not to handle the authorization, the aggregation, the business rules that would natively, so that avoids heavy downstream processing. And then the last one is the autonomy and speed. So customers can operate, maintain, and deploy the solution in days, not weeks. Like I mentioned before, it's very autonomous for the customer to get started, which is very valuable for us within POCs, within customers evaluating whether or not process mining even meets their needs. And it also has a very well-defined API protocol that allowed for rapid software development lifecycle. One thing I would want to add on is that, it's a big collaboration between UiPath and Theobald as well. And that's what I would want to highlight within the API protocol. The Theobald partnership has been very constructive. We've had very open communication. They have gone the extra mile to understand our use cases, to understand how we're going to use Xtract Core and where certain feature requests are coming in. So I would say overall, the collaboration between UiPath and Xtract Core has allowed for us to have even more confidence within the tool and overall shipping that to our customers. And then what does this really enable for us to do? It allows for our customers to have less focus on extraction and more on exploration. So Xtract Core and the simplification of the extraction process allows for our customers to really be able to dive into the main value proposition of process mining, which is the process insights they're able to get out, which is the automation opportunities that they could be able to identify, simulating those specific events, and overall process re-engineering so that they can bring more time and money back to their business and also alleviate some of that manual processing by their employees. For our team, Xtract Core also takes out a lot of the complexity around the SAP extraction, so we can focus on more of those high value AI-related features within the process diagram itself, within the transformations, so we can expedite that time to dashboard, like I mentioned before, and overall increase the amount of customer value that our customers are achieving within the process mining tool and overall the insights that they're getting.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like a real win-win, both for your end customers, but also for your own development teams and teams rolling out the solution.
Yeah.
Great. Let's see it in action.
Okay, great. Yeah, now it is time for a live demo. So let me just share my screen here. All right, so I am in the process mining portal. Process mining has two different flavors of process mining apps. We have development apps and process apps. Process apps have been published into production, are actively running and actively having business users driving insights out of. And the development apps is more for that software development lifecycle within developing out the app, bringing in the data, writing those transformations, and writing the specific visualizations they want to see. So I have already installed the data extraction on my local machine, and this data extraction has both the Theobald and our extraction service embedded. So now I can just utilize it within one of our app templates. These app templates are specific to processes. So here we'll see purchase to pay. We'll also see order to cash, incident management with the specific source systems identified. So for this use case, I'll go ahead and select purchase to pay like we've been talking about before. I'll call it an extraction demo. And I'll go ahead and select next. So here we have a number of different data sources that you could utilize in process mining. We also utilize Xtract Universal, which is Theobald's standalone extraction service for SAP. But now we have this new use on-premise data extractor. So with this extractor now installed on my local environment and configured to my SAP system, I can use this. I can go ahead and select next, and now I'll see an SAP. And here, I'll then see a connection that I've defined within the extractor itself. So here I can see that I have an active connection to an SAP instance. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Once I select next, it'll ask me the date range that I want to extract the data from. By default, we extract a year's worth of data, but you can extract as much data as you would want within your organization. I'm going to go ahead and select next. And here's where we have all of the tables that are defined in the extraction. So here we can see we have a number of different tables for our purchase requisition, for our purchase orders, and these are mapped to input tables that you can then write transformations for inside the process mining app. So here are all of the tables that are defined by default in the app template. And then I can also add tables here. So this add tables allows for us to use the Xtract core APIs to get all of the tables that are associated with this user credential and with this SAP instance. So I can add a specific table if I want to my extraction, and then it will add directly here. I can go ahead and select next. And then here I can see that this will trigger an extraction for my on-premise extractor, which is utilizing the Theobald API. And here I have the list of tables that are defined there. I have the date range, and I can go ahead and submit this. Apologize. It looks like I just went on mute for a second. It will prepare a data run, and it will start the data extraction and the ingestion within a process mining app. So now I will skip to when the data is actually extracted and ingested. This is how it shows within the process mining tool. So here I can see that process diagram that I mentioned before, and it has all the specific process variants that are associated with my purchase to pay process. So here I can see the steps and the number of items, in this case would be purchase requisitions, that would go through these specific steps. And then I can have this variant slider, and I can add on more or less process variants based upon the amount of based upon the amount of cases here. I can then also look at the number of variants and the number of items that variant processed. I could look at the distribution of the item value here to see what are the high dollar cases here, those that were above $420. And then I can also filter. I could filter based upon certain conditions that I would want to see within the process graph. And then overall, I can also get a high level view about what are my KPIs that matter most to my business. So what the automation rate is through this specific process, how many variants I have, what's the average throughput time for my purchase to pay end to end, and what is the total item value of all of those aggregate of those purchase requisitions, purchase orders, and invoices. So this is the UiPath process mining tool. It is powered by Xtract Core. I know Xtract Core is the extraction part. So it really enables for us to get that data more quickly into our process mining system so that customers can write transformations so that they can build these visualizations themselves, and they can overall derive value for their organization by process re-engineering, automation, or agents.
It's great to see this in live action, Jack. Thank you. A couple things I really liked about this. One is it allowed you to completely embed the SAP extraction into your own solution. There's no separate UI, no other tool. You can do everything within your process mining solution. And the other thing I saw that I really liked is how you can templatize your data extractions, because you know what tables you need to access based on the selected scenario, order to cash or procure to pay. And that really cuts down on the amount of setup and configuration that you have to do, because you already know the tables, and within just a few clicks or minutes, you can pull the data that is relevant for the scenario.
100%. Yeah. And beneath the hood, we are also doing more complex table joining on those specific app template tables. So the tables that are defined by default for customers. So we're doing a lot of things under the hood to optimize that SAP data extraction so that I can finish within a quick time frame for our customers, and they can extract those large volumes of data. So there's a lot of interconnectivity complexities beneath the hood that is abstracted by Xtract Core and allows for us just to display a seamless UI experience where they add and remove tables ad hoc, and overall the extraction can run and extract a lot of data successfully in an efficient manner.
Great.
Okay, I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen here.
All right, so I just want to spend a minute for maybe the more architects or technical folks in the audience to speak just a little bit about how this all works and comes together, at least at a high level. You see on the right-hand side of this diagram a solution like the one we just saw that Jack presented from UiPath process mining. This could also be any BI and reporting solution. This could be your AI, machine learning, or predictive solution, master data management, financial close, supply chain, customer experience, many others. Really any data that requires SAP data access. And this application, whether it's cloud or on-premise, can communicate over standard REST APIs with our Xtract Core component that you see in the middle of this diagram. I called it Data Extraction Agent. It is an embedded service that will do the work of configuring the data extractions and running the data extractions in the way we just saw in the demo. You will have secure SAP access based on a certified foundation to all kinds of SAP applications that you see shown on the left. And through our data extraction agent, the Xtract Core, the data is accessed from SAP. It's replicated into a cloud or file storage, where it can then be securely accessed by your software solution. So that's in simple terms how the solution works. It's very generic. Jack talked about high volume data. We're also partnering with UiPath right now on enabling change data capture. That's important for very frequent data pulls, for real-time or near real-time data access. So we believe there's many use cases that we can satisfy with this type of solution. In terms of next steps, I want to point you to a couple of resources. If you're interested to learn more, please visit our website. The URL is displayed at the top here to learn more about the Xtract Core solution. We really want to address all of the solution architects, software architects, integration engineers, product managers, integration leaders out there who have to deal with this topic of how can I bring SAP data into my solution without having to face the steep learning curve and big effort to do so. We will be happy to partner with you. We will be happy to enable you with a trial license. So feel free to get in touch with us after this webinar for a consultation. With that, I think we're at the last part of our webinar. We're happy to take some questions. Feel free to use the QA window or the chat window, and Jack and I will answer them. Okay, so there was one question about how is Xtract Core deployed? Can it be deployed as part of a software solution? Yes, and maybe you can add to that as well. So technically, Xtract Core runs as a service, as a Windows service, and you can deploy that with your application, with your solution, whether that's a setup or some other type of installation method. Xtract Core can be part of that, and that is exactly what UiPath has also accomplished. There was another question around compatibility with SAP. Does Xtract Core work with RISE for SAP? Yes, it is compatible with different SAP releases, including RISE for SAP, the RISE program. We span quite a range of SAP releases, going back to early versions of SAP ECC, but really any SAP application that runs on the ABAP stack is compatible with Xtract Core, and it's built on an SAP-certified technical foundation. There's one more question, more related to the effort that was involved for UiPath to build this integration. Jack, do you want to maybe comment on that?
Yeah. So essentially, it allowed for us to build a very quick extraction service for our customers with Xtract Core deployed with the extraction service that our customers would then install on their on-premise environments. I would say from initial POC development to the first customer being able to utilize it was around 6 weeks of time. So it was very quick, rapid software development. We were working directly with the Theobald team on how the APIs function, what kind of responses we would be able to receive, and then overall stress testing the solution there. So it was very, very quick from our perspective and allowed for us to get it within the hands of our customers in a timely manner.
Thank you, Jack. There's one more question that came in. How is Xtract Core different from XU? That's a great question for those who have worked with our solutions or know our solution. Xtract Core was built on the same foundation that Xtract Universal runs on. So that allows us to basically take a product that's in the market, that has been around for several years, that is proven to work with high data volumes, that has all kinds of SAP integration options, and take that product and take that technical foundation and basically repackage it in a way so that it works for software vendors. And that's what we've done with Xtract Core. So it is built on the same product foundation as Xtract Universal. Okay, and then there's one more around real-time replication. Is real-time or near real-time replication supported? Yes, that's something we are partnering right now with UiPath. That is an important aspect for not only efficient, but also um, as up to date as possible data, which is important for many scenarios. We have this technology available in Xtract Universal. It's called Table CDC for change data capture. And we're working on adding that as well to the Xtract Core solution in the coming months. So it will be available before the end of the year. Okay, I think that might be it. So I don't see any more questions coming in. You can always reach out to us after the webinar. We'll be happy to answer any remaining questions or talk to you about Xtract Core in more detail. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.